California's Gold is produced in association with KCET Los Angeles and is seen statewide on California Public Television. This series is endorsed by the California Teachers Association, the California School Boards Association, and the California Library Association. Used to be when you'd visit San Francisco and buy postcards to send back home, you'd pretty well know what would be on them. The Golden Gate Bridge, probably in the fog. Chinatown, all lit up. Of course, you'd have to buy a postcard of Alcatraz and, predictably, the world-famous cable cars. But in the last couple of decades, San Francisco has added another icon. And these days, when you buy Alcatraz postcards, there it is in the background. The same with the Golden Gate Bridge. And even the famed cable cars have to share billing. It graces the cover of the Quick Guide of places to visit, and it's even in the snow globes. Now, it didn't get to this position without controversy. When it was built back in the early 1970s, it caused quite a stir and a major civic debate. Newspapers wrote editorials about it, and even the venerable Herb Caen weighed in. Everybody had an opinion one way or the other. But today, that's all history, because it seems everyone is in agreement. This building, this tower, has become a beloved San Francisco landmark, and it's very much a part of California's gold. The Transamerica Tower definitely dominates the San Francisco skyline, both by height and architecture. You can see it from just about everywhere. Now, we were invited to spend the day there, and as we approached it, street level, we were getting pretty excited, and with good reason, too. Because before the day was over, we would not only learn about the history of this pyramid, but get to climb to the very top. Well, now we've hooked up with an official representative from the San Francisco Historical Society because, Charles, this has always been a very important spot in San Francisco, hasn't it?
Absolutely. It was built up during the time of the gold rush, and then in 1853, a law firm built what was then the largest office building in the West, called the Montgomery Block.
The largest office building in the West sat right here where the Transamerica Pyramid
Absolutely.
is.
And it was on the beach of what was then the Yerba Buena Cove, and they built it on a raft of redwood logs in order to anchor the building. 4 stories high, and it was the center of business. That restaurant here was called the Bank Exchange Saloon, which was the center of where all the business people in San Francisco met. So for the 1850s and 60s, it was probably the most important center of business and law firms and so forth in San Francisco.
Right here on this corner.
Right there on that corner.
Now, Transamerica didn't tear that historic building down to build their pyramid, did they?
This was built. This was torn down in the late 1950s by a group that put a parking lot there.
You're kidding.
No.
So really, they tore down a building and put up a parking lot, just like the song says.
You got it. And this is probably one of the 2 most important historic buildings in San Francisco. So it survived the earthquake and fire, destroyed in the late 1950s.
For a parking lot.
For a parking lot, for years.
So the parking lot was here from 1950 to 1969 when Transamerica started building the pyramid.
Actually about 58 to 58, 59 to the late 60s, yeah.
So this building replaced a parking lot, which was a good thing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, we're standing almost out in the middle of Columbus, here Columbus and Jackson in downtown San Francisco, and we are here not just by chance, we are here for a reason. And what is that reason, Pat?
The reason we're here today is to look at the Transamerica Pyramid, before and after.
Okay, this is the after.
Yes.
And by coincidence, right over beside the after is the before. And this is amazing. Tell us what this was.
Well, this was the original corporate headquarters for Transamerica Corporation. And in the late 60s, they outgrew it, as you can imagine, since it's such a small building. And our chairman at the time, Jack Beckett, conceived of the Transamerica Pyramid.
Now, this is amazing that Transamerica would move from this little building to this. That was quite a jump.
It was quite a jump, and it was quite a jump inside the company, too, to go from a small building like this to such a large one.
And a jump architecturally. How did he convince the board and the powers that be that they should go from something like this to a pyramid?
I think you have to look at the context of the time in the late 60s when Jack Beckett realized that the company needed a real image. It was multiple businesses, insurance, banking, and a variety of different kinds of insurance and investments and other things. They needed a unifying symbol. At the same time, the city needed a little bit of push and progress because there was the beginning of a depression in jobs. And so creating something that was very striking, very simple, an elegant pyramid was the answer.
His name was?
Jack Beckett.
And he was a rather forceful, flamboyant man himself. He loved the arts. So this must have just been right down his alley.
He loved it. He was very interested in the arts. He was an art collector. He played the piano, and a very interesting man and a strong CEO. And he wanted to build something that was artistic. And he got in touch with a bunch of architects and came up with Bill Pereira, who was doing interesting things at the time, and asked him to come up with some ideas. And one of them was the pyramid.
Bill Pereira wasn't picked by accident. He had designed the Museum of Modern Art in Los Angeles. He had designed buildings at the Cape Kennedy, the Cape Canaveral Space Center. He had designed parts of Los Angeles International Airport. He was doing campus design for major universities, so he was very forward-looking. Remember, 1968-69, when the design was conceived, we were still getting to the moon. The space race was very important to the country and something that was strikingly original and, in fact, almost rocket-like was an enthusiastic way to go.
Now, for a more official opinion about the Transamerica Pyramid, we have hooked up with John Ellis, who's an architect here in San Francisco. You know about these things. Tell us about the power of the pyramid, because this is a powerful building when you stand beside it.
Yes. This is a significant building because it's a landmark. It's an important part of San Francisco's skyline. It's a very, very simple shape. It's a building that's easily identifiable. It's a building that people can understand. It's almost like a cartoon character. It's interesting, if you look at Herb Cain's, the famous San Francisco columnist, his column always had the pyramid brushing up against his title. Every postcard view of San Francisco has the Transamerica Pyramid within it. It's one of the 3 tallest buildings in the city. It is actually the tallest, 853 feet. And it's also very, very significantly placed. It's right at the end of Columbus Avenue here. And there's a wonderful termination of that avenue from North Beach coming to the financial district.
So you can see it from almost anywhere in the city. It really dominates the skyline.
Exactly. You can see it all over the Bay Area, and as you fly into the city, this is the image that people see. It serves the same function in some ways that the Eiffel Tower does in Paris or the Chrysler Building does to New York. It's an instant identifiable landmark.
When they built it, were the architects of San Francisco excited about it? Did they know what was coming? Did they know this was going to be a landmark? Or did it kind of catch people by surprise?
I think it caught people by surprise. I remember here, I was visiting San Francisco from London, where I grew up, in 1969 when it first broke ground. And it was very interesting. Around the perimeter of the site, they had hoardings saying a landmark from 1972, before it was even built. So they recognized that there was going to be a landmark. San Francisco is an interesting place, liberal politically, conservative architecturally, and there was a real controversy about this building in terms of changing the image of the city. But it went through an interesting transformation and has now become quite a beloved landmark and is very popular.
The question is the Transamerica Pyramid a great building architecturally?
I wouldn't say it's a great building, I'd say it's a significant building. And I think the greatness is lacking in terms of some of the details.
Like what?
Well, the way
You're raining on our parade, you understand,
I know.
don't you?
Well, the way the elevator towers stick out of the side like a couple of ears. No one figured out how to do a sloping elevator or a tapering elevator to get to the top of the
So
building.
they had to have those things coming out. the side.
There's no way of avoiding that.
And what else?
I think also the way it meets the ground with this forest of columns isn't quite as graceful as it could have been. But on the whole, though, it's an important part of San Francisco's background, and it's an important part of San Francisco's skyline, and that's really where it has its power.
Now we're going inside the pyramid building, and when we get inside, we have a little exhibit set up here, Pat. Now, what is this all about?
Well, this is the Transamerica Virtual Observatory, and we have about 50,000 tourists a year that come to the pyramid because this is a landmark building in San Francisco. And unlike the Eiffel Tower, where you can go to the top, here it's a working office building. So instead of everybody going to the top, Transamerica about 10 years ago put in this observatory, and it has cameras on the top of the building.
So you can take them to the top with use of, I guess these are live cameras.
These are live cameras.
This shows the view from the west. This shows the view from the north. This shows the view. Here's a guy right here. Hello, how you doing?
Hello. Nice
now,
to meet
where
you.
are you from?
I'm from Italy.
So you've come to look east.
Yes.
Let's
east.
see what you're doing here. What are you seeing when you look east?
Okay, I think I see Treasure Island.
Uh-huh.
And here on the right, Yerba Buena Island.
Oh,
and
I
the
see.
Bay Bridge.
And the Bay Bridge.
Yes.
Now, did you come here specifically to see this building?
I came here just by curiosity, actually, because I'm Italian and I was curious to read the history of how this building was built, actually. And I learned that was an Italian, actually, so I'm proud of it.
Lots of people come in here. Lots of people want to go to the top.
Yeah, everybody comes in and wants to go to the top, and unfortunately we can't accommodate everybody, but this is the next best thing.
We're looking down at Jackson Square, which is the historic area that we saw. There's the old Transamerica building that we were at earlier, and there's the shadow of the new Transamerica building. If you just hold it right there for a second, we're late in the morning. If this were a rectangular building, it would be creating a much wider swath of cold shadow, and
What we have now is this wonderful
slender point that travels, sweeps across the north as the sun sweeps around from the east to the west during the day.
very architectural.
So it preserves light and air in the streets around the building and for all the neighbors of the building.
Was that part of the design?
Absolutely. Part of the concept of the building was the preservation of light and air, and also the preservation of views from buildings and hills nearby. Tell you what, why don't we take you up to the top floor? We can see the views ourselves.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do next. That's what we've been waiting for, is for this invitation. We're not going to settle for the virtual reality. We want to see it for real. Where are we going to go?
We're going to go right up this elevator shaft here and into the 48th floor.
So we're going to go up here.
That's right.
This is the 48th floor.
Yep.
And are we going to be able to go all the way to the top?
We've arranged that, yes.
So we're going to go from here.
It's about 212 feet from there all the way up to the peak. Yeah.
Oh boy, are you going with us?
I'm going with you.
Right, let's go to the top of the pyramid.
Okay.
Well, after a very quick elevator ride, we are now on the...
We're on the 48th floor, which is the Jack Beckett room, the very top of the pyramid for public space.
The Jack Beckett. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is we're looking right at the Coit Tower out here. What a wonderful view you have from up here. This is better than the cameras.
It is better than the cameras, but the cameras still, they give you a pretty good view. And this is the view that all of the people that work in this building have. So it's a very special place to be.
Now there is Alcatraz out there beginning to be hidden in the fog and the clouds rolling in. We're looking which way?
North.
North. Now this looks out at the Golden Gate, but this other direction over here really gets you into the heart of the city, doesn't it?
This is looking toward the financial district of San Francisco, and you can see the Bank of America building.
Ah, the old Bank of America building, which used to be the tallest building in San Francisco.
Yes, they held that title for about 1 year before we completed the pyramid, and now we're the tallest building.
Now, you are how much taller than B of A, technically? Has somebody added it up?
A full 100 feet.
Exactly 100 feet.
853 feet to 753 feet.
Is there a rivalry between the two buildings?
We have a friendly rivalry on who's taller. They have 52 floors of working space, and we have 48. But when you go to the top of the spire, we're taller.
Okay, so they get a little something out of it, you get a little something out of it.
Right.
Now, this room is used primarily for what?
Well, Transamerica uses it for events, parties. It's a special place to be invited in San Francisco, and Transamerica lends it out periodically to nonprofit groups and social functions for our employees.
Great. I bet there have been some great parties up here, but we don't need to go into all that, do we?
No.
But we're going to go even higher than the 48 floors. Here's the guy right here who's going to take us. Your name, sir?
Jose Gomez,
And your title here?
Director of Engineering Operations.
Engineering Operations. So you're going to take us now from the 48th floor, how much further up?
We're going to go 2 floors up to the equipment area, and then we will take stairs up to the spire.
So we're going to have to walk up to the top.
Yes.
How many floors do we walk up?
Well, you're going to take 168 steps.
Really? Is it going to be scary or is it going to be exciting?
It's going to be exciting and, a little trying.
What about it, Pat?
Yes, it's going to be trying.
I'm not sure we can get Pat to go with us, as a matter of fact.
Well, you can wave goodbye as we head up the stairs. We're leaving the 48th floor and all of this beautiful view here, looking out at the city, and we're heading up.
For a better view.
For a better view. All right, we've climbed up, and David, where are we? Well, we're outside.
Right here is the top of one of the 2 shoulders of the pyramid. On the other side is the top of the elevator shaft. This is the top of the smoke evacuation shaft, open to the sky for the breathing of the building.
So look at this. We are looking straight down. How many floors down are we looking?
All the way to the street level.
That goes all the way down.
All the way about 59 floors.
And it looks hollow down there. Hello? You can hear an echo.
Yes, it is hollow all the way.
All right, so we're now on what floor?
This will be the 49th floor.
49th floor. Let's go inside the 49th floor. Now, Jose, what is all this equipment over here?
This is the air conditioning unit for the upper level, which goes from the 38th floor to the 48th floor.
Okay, so this is all air conditioning for the top 10 floors.
Correct.
All right, it's awful clean in here.
It looks better at times. But we're doing some work right now, though.
Well, no, it looks great.
All right, I'll take it.
You're up here a lot, aren't you?
Yes.
All right, now, is this it? Where do we start?
No, we start 1 level up above these stairs.
So we don't even start until we go up another level.
Correct.
All right, let's go up. This is a long trip.
Yeah, not too long.
We're heading up. Okay, we are up on the top. Well, we're still not up on the top, Jose. What is this called?
This is the landing for the spire. And this is where we have the first initial steps for the spire.
So this is what we're going to go up. And look up here. We're talking about a big journey up there.
A little bit trying, yes. A little test for you.
Okay.
I hope you don't get vertigo.
No, we just don't look down, right?
That's exactly right.
Now, some facts about this place. You were telling me about the lights.
During the winter holiday season, we put green filters on the fronts of these lights so that by indirect lighting, we have, in effect, a green Christmas tree on all 4 sides of the top of the pyramid.
And the rest of the year, the thing is lit at night, so it just kind of glows.
It's intermittently lit, yes. We don't go too wild with the lighting, but intermittently lit and glows from within. That's right.
Trying to conserve our energy.
Exactly, and you see they're off right now.
And this is made of
Aluminum.
so this whole thing is just open except for this aluminum
Corrugated aluminum.
siding kind of an area here.
Correct. And allows for elements to come in here. A little bit of rain, fog, wind.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the wind. Does it kind of get...
Yeah, we get a little bit of motion back and forth. I can't remember. I think there's about a foot and a half off center that we can have a certain deviation.
Really?
Yeah.
You've been up here when it gets real windy?
I've had occasion.
I bet it makes an interesting noise too, doesn't it?
Yes, there's a big whooshing sound throughout the period.
And you can see where it's open right here. What have you got that siding off for now?
We've been going through a project of cleaning the building, pressure washing the exterior of the building. So we took the panels off and we are now through. So we'll be closing them back up again.
This is amazing that the whole thing is just covered in this aluminum. If this one little piece of aluminum wasn't here, we'd be standing out in a totally open space.
Correct. Yes, we would be.
Well, are you ready to take us up?
We'll make an effort.
That doesn't sound very enthusiastic to me.
Not everybody wants to go all the way to the top.
Well,
Let's see
we
if
want
you
to go
do.
to the top of the pyramid. Now, this is where you're saying, goodbye.
I'm saying goodbye, yes.
You're staying down here for security reasons to make sure that everything is okay, right?
Okay,
That's
that'll
it.
work.
That's why you're staying. Have you ever been up to the top?
I have been to the top.
Are we in for a treat?
It's such a treat. It's an exciting thing, and not many people get to do it.
Is it one of those things where getting there is half the fun, or is there a real payoff when we get up there?
There's a payoff, but you'll be breathing heavy when you get there.
All right, let's go. Thanks a lot. Look where we're going. All the way to the top of the pyramid. Oh boy. Now I got to tell you, David,
Yeah.
this is kind of weird.
You beginning to feel like Jimmy Stewart in the end of Vertigo?
Just a little weird. I mean, we're not that high up yet. How sturdy is this?
It's pretty sound. It's structurally designed.
What do you mean pretty sound?
We're fine.
It's extremely sound.
And it can hold all three of us right here together like this?
Unless we gain more weight.
Oh my gosh.
Shall we go further?
Gosh.
We can stop now if you want to.
No,
Hugh.
this is great. I love it. It's just kind of a weird, you just don't want to look down. Just keep looking straight ahead. Oh. You love this, don't you?
I love it. I'd like to see you nervous, Hugh.
I'm going to look down and wave. Goodbye, cruel world. We're heading up, 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 up to the top of the pyramid. All right.
Move out to the side.
We're here.
Duck.
We're at the top. 2 feet to go.
Watch your head.
Well,
Here we are.
we're here, and this is very exciting. I know you're jaded by all of this. You've been up
I'm
here
not.
a number of times, but for us, this is really exciting. We are at the top, how many feet up?
853 feet above the street.
All right, the tallest building in San Francisco,
right.
for sure.
Yeah.
And what's up here, David?
Well, there are a lot of different things up here, and you got to actually watch yourself because starting at the very top, there's the lightning rod, and that
Oh my
ties
gosh.
into these grounding wires that tie into the steel of the building.
A lightning rod. Now,
Of
that's
course.
not very reassuring.
Oh, it actually is reassuring because if we do happen to get hit by lightning, that will absorb the energy and distribute it down into the ground.
What is this right
Well,
here?
This is the crown jewel. This is the spinning, it's about a 15,000 watt light, and on the filters on the outside spin, and these are fans to keep it cool when it's on. And as I said, this is only turned on once or twice a year for special celebrations.
Wow, is the red light turned on?
The red light is FAA required aircraft warning light,
So
and
it's
that's
on
on
every
every
night.
single night when the sun goes down.
And there's really not much room at all
No.
up here. that's about all there is going on up here.
In fact, from other parts of the city where we're sitting right now, looks as though it's the pinpoint.
This is the very
This is the pinpoint of the building. That's
top
right.
of the pyramid.
That's right. Did you feel that?
I felt it. I really did, and I don't know whether it's mental or physical, but I'm beginning to think, I'm feeling like we're going like this right now.
It's a windy day outside, and part of the seismic security, actually, of the building is it's flexible. And the steel structure moves with the wind and with an earthquake and can flex.
Yeah, don't even talk about an earthquake, because this thing would just be rattling up here, wouldn't it?
Yes, in the Loma Prieta, the top of the building moved a total of 9 feet from one side to the other.
What?
Yeah, 4.5 feet each way, 9 feet swing all the way during the Loma Prieta quake.
Now, it was supposed to, though. I mean, it's
absolutely.
made to do that.
Absolutely. A very heavy, strong base, a very thick mat, and a flexible steel structure. And the pyramid is actually stronger and more resilient as a pyramid than it would be if it were a box.
Well, this has been very exciting. I know that Jose is down there laughing at us. Hey, Jose! He didn't have to come up this time. He just sent us up. But this has been very exciting, and this building is a landmark. It's a pyramid that has found its place not only in the architecture, but in the hearts of the people of San Francisco and of California and
from around the world.
Around the world. And it is certainly part of, it's certainly in our hearts now. In fact, we almost lost our heart coming up a couple of times up that last step. But it is beautiful up here, and the view of the city is beautiful up here, and it's just been a wonderful experience for us all.
It's great to have you.
Thank you very much. I'm shaking hands with one hand and holding on for dear life with the other. We're on the top of the Transamerica Pyramid Tower, this wonderful grand tower, which has been here since 1972, is very much a part of California's gold. Goodbye, everybody. And now we got to climb back down. Is it easier going down than it was coming up?
Actually, I have a harder time going down than I do coming up.
So the adventure is really just halfway over. Goodbye. Well, hello everybody, I'm Huell Hauser, and I sure hope you enjoyed this adventure. If you'd like to see it again or share it with your family or friends, or perhaps donate a copy to your local school or library, it's available on video cassette and on DVD. All you have to do is call 1-800-266-5727 and we'll be glad to send it to you right away.